All right, cool. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Favor. Good evening, Arize. Good evening, Darasimi. Good evening, Joy. How was your week? So, to get us started in today's class, we'll be talking about development practices and agile methodologies. So, like I promised, this class will be taken by two persons. Um, First, Peter, who is a software engineer at Buildersstudio, and Ebube, who is a product designer, will be coming in at 8 p.m. to take us on product design and using Figma as a product manager. So to get us started this evening, I'll try to introduce Peter, and then from there we start. So Peter is a software engineer. Um, so he does front end, and majorly his scope of interest is to contribute to engineering and implementation of products at Buildersstudio. And he is passionate about open source contribution and also bringing ideas and discussions, both engineering and non-technical discussions to life. And so um, while we'll be taking you on the software engineering discussions this evening. So I'll hand over to Peter to get us started.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Damala, for that introduction. I really appreciate that. All right. So I'm just going to turn on my camera so everyone can see me. Can everybody see me? I guess. Okay. Can everyone see me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. My name is Peter Adejobi. I'm a front-end engineer at Buildersstudio. I've been into software engineering for 3 years now. I've contributed to various projects and products such as Mozilla Firefox, Zulip, as well as GetLink Hackathon, which I contributed to with a friend in my early days of software engineering. I'm very passionate about software and solving people's problems. I'm really interested in making life easier for everyone through technology and just building products that are very intellectual. I am also an active participant and communicator on Builders Studio community via Slack and WhatsApp. So if anybody has any questions or any information they would like to ask me or they would like to know, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right. You can reach out to me on Slack at Peter Odechobi, and I think on WhatsApp you can just type a message and just write my name because I don't really remember my WhatsApp name. But you can reach out to me on WhatsApp and just write my name. I think Favor as well. Just reach out to me and let me answer your questions. All right, moving forward. So I'll share my screen right now. Okay. All right, can everybody see my screen? Can anyone see my screen? Mm, oh, yeah. Can anybody notify me if they can see my screen? Oh, okay, okay. All right, so sorry. All right, so I have been to quite a few of your classes and I've understood or learned with you guys a few of the things that Damola taught you on development and agile practices. And the truth is, varieties of these software products use GitHub because that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Both WhatsApp to Go, Google Maps, varieties of these software products use GitHub to track their code base and just monitor changes all around the globe. because as we can see, there are huge companies like WhatsApp, Notion, and Google Maps, whereby a variety of people from different parts of the world come together to contribute and build the project. So GitHub is a platform that allows this variety of developers to come together and put their heads together in one to make meaningful contributions to this product. All right, so we're going to be talking about Git and GitHub. First of all, I think we should just dive deep, or no, I think I would just ask anybody if anybody has any understanding of GitHub. Do they have any ideas of what GitHub is, or they just keep hearing the word? Does anybody have any understanding? Anything, I'm thinking anything, just suggestions, anything. Are we here? Um, okay. First, let me confirm if you guys can hear me. Favor, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay, that's great, that's great. All right, so I was asking if any one of us has an understanding of what GitHub is. Do they have an idea of what GitHub is? Like, what do we know that GitHub is?
I don't know. This is my first time of hearing it.
Okay, okay. All right, I'll just go ahead to explain what GitHub is. So GitHub is a platform for varieties of developers to come together and contribute to build a software product. So to use GitHub, you have to have Git installed on your system. But first of all, I will explain what Git is. Git is a distributed version control system. Git is a distributed version control system designed to handle everything from small to large projects with speed and dependency. All right, I know that's a lot of grammar there. That's a lot of words, but we're just going to start with the word I highlighted, distributed. So distributed basically means that varieties of developers from all parts around the world are allowed to come together to contribute to that project. So we all know that like Facebook is big. Facebook is a very large software that different people from different parts of the world, from Nigeria, from Australia, Canada, they come together to contribute to Facebook to write code because we all know Facebook is not made up of 10 or 20 developers. There are varieties of developers from different parts of the world. Have we not thought of how come they are able to write, like contribute together? Nobody has ever thought of how they were able to come together to write code, and where is all that code going to? How is the organization doing it? Because we are all different people and we all have varieties of ideas, varieties of thoughts that we bring together. So we have varieties of ways that we do things that are very different from others. But how are they able to come together and put it all in one when it comes to writing code? Now that is what GitHub does. GitHub is just this platform. It's basically like Google Drive. Google Drive, we can host different of our files and different types of images there. That is the same thing as GitHub, just like specifically for code. We use it to host varieties of code. Now, Git is how we access GitHub from our personal computer, from our local system. So Git is a command line tool. That's another word. But basically, Git is just a tool that we use to send information and send messages and just perform tasks on our computer that we use to send to GitHub, that where our code will be hosted. If we look at Google Drive, we see that like there are ways for us to upload our files and save them there and store them. So Git is the path that we use to go to that GitHub. Git is the path that we send our files, that we move our files from this location to the next location. That is what Git does. It moves our files from point A to point B. It changes the location. It allows us to make different changes from different points in time. Now, while we work with Git and while you product managers work with software developers, there will be varieties of terms that they discuss. There will be varieties of terms that they mention. Let's say example is repository. Repository is just a collection of files and their history. Now, when a software developer mentions to you that, oh, I just created the repo. Now, a repository is just the root folder because code is basically just written text in files and folders. So a repository is just the root folder, the parent folder for everything that holds and stores everything. You know, the way we have on Google Drive that we can have one folder for varieties of our documents inside it. Now that is what a repository is, a folder, a root folder for all our code. The next terminology that we have is commit. Commit is just a snapshot of changes. Now, the way I'm going to explain this is I'm going to have a practical example. Don't worry, guys. We'll have a practical example that I'm going to discuss. But right now, we just have to listen to the theoretical part. So, a commit is a snapshot of changes with a unique identifier. Now, I'll use this example. When we are trying to transport our goods to somewhere, when we give our goods to a delivery rider, the good has to have a tag on it so that the receiver can identify what is in the product. You know, when we're trying to ship, let's say it's clothes or you know, the way we have child deck and they have this their bag that they use to deliver food. So Comet is kind of like that. We have this unique identifier to use to know that okay, this is what the code chain does. This is exactly what that code chain does. That is what a commit is for. Are you following me, guys? Are we do we have Are you guys there? Hello, guys. Are we together? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay. Thank you. Vivek. All right. So back to this. All right. So a commit is just that unique identifier that we used to know that this is what that specific code does. You know, when we transport our food from Tardec's main store to the actual receiver's house, you have a tag on it that will let the user know that, I'm sorry, the receiver, I will let the receiver know that, okay, this is what is in the bag. Now, that is what a commit does. It just identifies that code chain, like, okay, this is what this particular code right here does. Now, a branch is a separate line of development. The way I'm going to, all right, so let me just use the terminology for this one. You know, when we want to design our house, I want to design our house, many of us will want to have like a sample space for where our development will go on. No, let me just take it. Oh. All right, I'm just going to go into something more simpler because I feel like that house analogy might be a lot. Let me use writing essays, right? When we want to write an essay, I'm sure a lot of us, you know, the first time we want to write an essay, we have so much combobulated thoughts that we have so much to write. So the first thing that we'll first do is to just write everything in a piece of paper, even though it's rough. Like we just, you know, write all our thoughts down, just put all our thought process down, and we write it down. Then we can take another piece of paper to then organize those words. Now, branching is kind of like that. So when you create a branch, it's like saying that, all right, this main branch right here is where all the proper allocated, all the codes that work, all the code that people accept, all the code that everyone says that this is the right way to do it. When we create a new branch from that branch, oh my God, I think that's how they confuse it a little bit. Let me just go back. When we create a branch, let's say we have one branch and then we create another branch for that same branch. It's saying like when you have that your essay right here, and then you create another new essay from that main essay that you created. I'm hearing my. Does anybody have a question? I assume your mic is turned on. Do you have a question? Okay. All right. I think it's a question. All right, so just a branch is just kind of like a safe space of instead of making your change in the main place, you just take another cut, like you create another room with exactly the same changes, but then you can add your own on top of it. It's that same essay analogy when you have a file that you have all your different thoughts in. Then you just create a new file based off of that old file. Then you can start making your changes and start redrawing. Like you've already had this rough shot, so you are making a new one and then just reorganizing and making everything make sense. Now, merge is another terminology. Merge is a process of combining changes from different branches. Now, after you've written your essay and then you've created a new branch, you've created a new essay based off of that old essays, and then you've organized your thoughts. Now, I'm very sure that you want them to be in one, like you want those changes to be combined to one. Now, that is what a merge does. A merge is to put your main branch and then the other branch that you created, join them together into one, so they will become one file or one code change. That is basically or typically what a merge does when it comes to Git. Now, cloning is means making a copy of a repository. Now, in Git, when you want to work at Facebook, let's say any one of us gets a job at Facebook. Facebook already has bunch of products, a lot, like wide variety of software products that they want people to work on. So basically, when you join Facebook, they are not going to ask you to go and start writing a new product from scratch. They're going to ask you to take the code that they have, those changes that they have, and then start building your changes off of that. Start working on top of those changes. So what a clone does is to copy all the things that, let's say in Facebook, all the code changes that are particular to the products that you're working on, all the changes there, it takes it and copies it to your local machine. It copies it to your system. So you can start making your own changes on top of it. I hope you get that. Now, after making those changes, um, you can, oh no, sorry, we have pull next. Pull is another Git terminology that fetches changes from a remote repository. I'll give another example of working together on an essay. Let's say you and all of you on this team are working together on an essay. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have plenty great and amazing ideas, a lot of impactful, knowledgeable ideas that Mr. A might like and Mr. B might say, "Oh no, let's do it this way. Oh, let's do it that way." You know. So when we have those bunch of ideas, all of you come together and then you all pick um, the perfect ideas that you feel like are going to go well with the particular essay that you want to submit. So when, let's say, Mr. A and Mr. B picks these two thoughts from each other and they put it in that essay. Now me, Mr. C, I want to like add my own change. Obviously, when we want to work on the essay, I will not start from scratch and start writing all over again because we're all working together. We're all sharing ideas. And Mr. A and Mr. B have already written something. So what I'm supposed to do is write my own essay based off of what they've written. So I'm going to pull the changes from their own essay and add it to mine and then write my own based off of that. Now, basically, when you're working in Facebook, obviously there are so many people working together and pushing varieties of changes at a time. So you have to be able to catch up. You have to be able to meet up before you start working on the new change or before you start writing code. You have to first take all the latest changes because you can write, let's say, when Mr. A and Mr. B have written a good header or a good topic header, and then me, I'll just come and just write my own and just take over the change. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to take all the changes from Mr. A and Mr. B because it's a group work, it's a group project. We are all supposed to work together to achieve the common goal. So I'll pull the changes. Now that's what just pull does. Pulling changes, just taking those changes into your local system so you can then start to work from it. Like from there, you start making your changes on and on. Now, after making your changes, you are going to have to send it to GitHub because that's where all of your other team members and collaborators are going to see it and say, okay, we are going to merge these changes, we are going to keep these changes, or we are going to remove them. What push does is sends your changes to remove to repository. Now, push is to, after making your change, after writing a file or making whatever code change it is, after making whatever code change it is, sorry about that. After making whatever code change it is, you can then push it to where other of your teammates and developers can see and then add it to the main repo. All right. Did everybody have a basic understanding of what I said, or does anybody have any question from here? Any questions? Any questions? I'm taking questions from here. Are there any questions? All right. I don't think there are any questions. So now, like I said, Git is the part that you use to push your changes to GitHub, because GitHub is the platform. GitHub is the Google Drive. So Git is the part that the code is going to pass to get to GitHub. So we have varieties of commands and varieties of words, should I say, so to say, words that we use to tell Git to push those changes or to take those changes to GitHub. We have Git clone, which is to copy the changes from, for an example, Facebook, copy all the code from Facebook and then bring it into our system. Now, after copying this code from Facebook, Git, which is the errand person, so to say, Git is like the the monitor guy or the guard, so to say, the guard person. So after cloning the changes from our remote repository, that is where all the code base is, which is GitHub, we have Git init. What Git init does is to say, okay, Git, start monitoring my code base, start monitoring the changes. You are telling the security person, start watching this place, start looking at what I'm doing. Look, let me know if I make any changes. Let me know whatever changes are going on. That is what Git init does. It starts monitoring all your changes around your repository. Git branch is to create another branch. If you have a main branch, let's say you are in room A, you can create room B based off of room A. Yeah, the same analogy of the essays. You have the two essays that Mr. A and B has come together and written. So you can create a new essay based on that their essay. That is what Git branch does. Create another room based off of the first room. We're all going to see this in practice. We have Git checkout. After you've created the new branch, obviously you have to go into that place so you can start making your changes. You know, when you create the new essay, you have to pick it out to start writing. Does that make sense? Let me just track. So after you create the new branch, you have to check out, you have to go into that branch and start making your changes. You have to, that's what Git checkout does. So after that, when you're making your code changes, let's say you added letter L to the file or letter B or whatsoever, um, you tell Git add to add that changes. You tell Git that this new file that I just made this change to, please keep it for me, watch it and keep it. Like, you know, when you have a logistics company, and then you want to, you know, you can have varieties of delivery riders, so many, and two delivery riders can deliver to the same person. So basically, when you have this particular product that you want to give out, you already have, let's say it's a bag that you're selling, you already have that bag at hand. Now, Git add is a sample of passing that handbag to the delivery rider, passing the handbag like, okay, hold this handbag and keep it. Hold it because this is what you're going to be delivering. Keep it and watch it. That is what Git add does. It keeps it and watch it. Just to be when you give the handbag to the delivery rider holds it because that is the product. Now, when we have the handbag, obviously, when you are a salesperson, you package your products with varieties of fancy stuff just to make it look good. But the most important part of that product is tagging the product so that the delivery rider can know where the product is going. You need to tag that product, you need to identify that product, even when the receiver gets it, so they can say that, oh yeah, I ordered this handbag. So that is what Git commit right here does. It is just an identifier message that that when a new developer comes to that code base, when they read it, they say, oh, this is what this particular code does. oh yes, this is they identified the particular change in that particular code. Like Git commit is just that adding that unique tag, that identifier of knowing what that code does. Git merge, as when you create a new branch based off of the main branch, Git merge is to combine those changes. You just say we have, let's say we have a main branch, and then I created another dev branch, making another room based off of the main room, making another essay based, making an essay B based off essay A. Where you have a rough sheet and then you're making another essay based off of that. So Git merge, what it does is to combine those changes. All right, I've cleaned up everything. I've cleaned up all the files. Now I want to join them together to be one. I want them in one. That is what Git merge does. Now Git pull, same as before, is just to take all those latest changes from the main branch from GitHub to bring all those changes down into your system. That is what Git pull does, to bring those changes down into your system. Now, after bringing those changes and you make your own particular changes, let's say you add a new picture or add multiple lines of code. Now you have to send it back to GitHub so other people, other teams can see it and then review and then add it. All right. So, and then add it. So that's what Git pushes does. So that's what Git push does. Git push is to send your local code changes to GitHub so other of your teammates and team members can look at it and work on it and make changes off of that. Okay. So GitHub is a web-based platform for hosting Git repositories. I think I already explained that and I already gave an overview idea. It provides GitHub is a web-based platform for hosting Git repositories. It provides a collaborative environment where developers can host and review code, manage projects, and build software together. Just as explained before, GitHub is kind of like Google Drive. It's just to keep your code changes, just to maintain everything, have a version history. You can go back in time. You can also add new changes. If let's say this new code change that this particular junior developer added causes a wreck in production, you can actually go back in time to change that. So you can have your app up and running in no time. Now we're just going to have a little bit of practical project. But first, I'm going to share my new screen. All right, let me just please confirm if you can see my screen. Confirm if you can see my screen. We are actually on GitHub website. This is GitHub. Can everyone see my screen? Guys, can you guys see my screen? I'm actually waiting for a confirmation from you guys before I start moving on. So are we there? Guys, can you see my screen? I'm here waiting always. Network bad or something.
Your screen is on. Your screen is on.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. So this is GitHub. This is where all this code posted. So this is an example of a code base. Same as this. Same as this. All right. So we want to create a new code base. We want to create, let's say, a Facebook example. We want to create, let's say, Facebook clone. We want to create a clone of Facebook. So we press this add button here, and then we give it a name. Facebook clone. Facebook clone. Now we want to make it. I want to make it a public repository so everybody else can see it and identify what it is. You can have it. a description if you care or if you like, but I'm not really interested in adding a project description. Um, Adding a README file. You can add a README file. This README file is just basically a regular file that you can, when anybody comes, any new developer comes, they can just go through this, have a little bit idea on how to start the project and how to go about contributing to the project. This is just a brief of the project. That's what this README file does. I'm adding this here so that we can have a field folder, because this will create a folder. I want a file inside it. That is why I added this add README file. Okay, so we are creating this. Okay, so we've already created a Facebook clone, and see, this is the README file here. When I click on it here, you can see it here. It's empty because we haven't written anything there. All right, so now I want to take this new folder, because this is already a folder. This new folder that I created, I want to take it and put it in my system, because I just got hired at Facebook, and then people at Facebook says I should take their um, current code base and clone it into my system. So what I would do is I can go here and press copy right here. I'll go to this code, green button here, and press copy. And I can also go here as well in the URL bar and just press Ctrl A and Ctrl C to copy it, whichever it is you like. After doing that, now I want to bring Facebook clone into the system. If we look here, let's say we look here, in just my file folder. Well, I have quite a lot of files, but here because there are no files pertaining to Facebook. If you look here, this is the F part. This is the only F folder that starts with F that I have. Now I'm working at Facebook, so I want to bring a new Facebook project to my own local computer so I can start working on it. Now, what the command says here is to do a git clone and then the repo URL. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to my command line and do git clone and then paste it. Now you can see it's cloning into my desktop folder. I will just have to wait for that to work. All right, so now we can open my folder and we can see right here, this is Facebook clone right here. This is Facebook clone inside my desktop. This is it here. Facebook clone. Now I have cloned the Facebook project into my own personal computer. And we can also copy the project into our system in varieties of ways. Sometimes I might say, oh, okay, I don't want to use the command line to do this. I can also download the file manually by just doing download zip. When I click on download zip, what it's going to do is to download a zip folder for me. All right, so let me show you here. My downloads. See here, Facebook clone name. So instead of going through the command line part, there's also another way of doing it. By just downloading the zip file, unzipping the file. After we unzip the file, then we can go ahead. All right, so that is now to work on Git, you have to have VS Code installed on your system to actually practice and work with Git. And some of us might want to have fun with that, so we can just install VS Code on our computer, but that is not the topic of today, so we will not be diving into that. We're trying to open the file in VS Code so we can practice these analogies and terminologies that I mentioned. Okay. So let's open a new VS Code instance. I like to put this way. VS Code instance. Now I want to open the Facebook Chrome project because I have something to work on. I've been given a task by my senior engineers at Facebook. So they asked me to work on something. What I'm going to first do is to open that folder here in VS Code so I can start writing code and making changes. So you can see it here. I'll just go to my desktop where I have my Facebook clone there. Facebook clone, select folder and open. Okay. Mhm. Send it. Right. Open. Apologies, my system is quite slow today. All right. So Facebook clone has been opened. I don't know if anybody can see it, but I'm hovering right here. The folder name is Facebook clone. Why this place is quite empty is because there isn't a lot of file in this code base. Now, this is new Facebook project. As you can see, it's a Facebook code. This is a new Facebook project. So let's pretend this is all the code that Facebook has. This is all Facebook's code in their code base. Now, this is the main branch. This is the branch that all accepted code goes. Like this is where the code that all other engineers they've come together and put together and they've written and everybody has accepted that okay, this is a very good um kind of code that we want to add to production. So it wouldn't make sense for me to start writing code right here because what if I make a mistake or I do something really bad? I can't go back in history. I can't go back to another place. So the best and the advised parts on what to do is to create a new branch. Now, why this is the main branch. This command here, as you see here, this cheat sheet. I think Damola will share this cheat sheet with you guys, so you can check it out if you feel like practicing in your leisure time. All right, so what I'm going to do is to create a new branch because I don't want to work on the main branch. I don't want to ruin any official code from, I don't want to ruin any official code. So what I'll do is press Ctrl J to open the command line. Now I want to create a new branch. Just make it look like amazing. So guys, okay, let me just go ahead and create a new branch here instead of using the terminal. Okay, so I'll just create a new branch called dev. After creating a dev branch, um, you can see here that this branch has changed. This is the dev branch. Now, this is a new kind of like a whole entirely separate folder, different from the main branch. Let me show it to you. Now, if I do, let's see, let me say add hello world here. Now I added hello world.
Sorry. Hi, Peter. I think someone is
Hi.
complaining about, yeah, someone is complaining about your screen not moving.
Okay, so Apologies, I'm having technical difficulties, and I mean I will address the issue of my screen not moving. I'm currently on it. Just give me a few minutes. Can everybody hear me? I'm actually joining from my
Yeah.
mobile. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so apologies. Okay. Oh, that's right. Just give me.
So hi guys, while he gets ready, um, what as he has him to show us this evening basically is how engineers work together. So meaning that as a program manager, when you want to measure velocity time, measure how long it takes to develop a particular feature, it would be good to understand some of these nuances so that I'm able to accurately guess how long it will take for 5 engineers to work together on a code, 10 engineers to work together on a product, depending on the kind of what's it called, depending on the kind of experience and experts on the team, right? So when you work in a company, the company will expect you to churn out output and results on a timely basis. So knowledge of how they work will help you as a product manager to guide them in making the best decision per time. So in the long run, I don't need to write code yourself, but knowing what each of these things means so that when they are discussing them in your meetings, you're not like, guys, can you guys just shut up? I'm tired. Right. But you can be able to then get more context on what they are talking about because you now have like a foundation to how engineers work together. So in essence, this is not to turn you into an engineer. It's just to make sure that you can buy into the lens of a engineer, how they can be across different parts of the world and keep working together on a single project or on a single product, and how you can be able to measure velocity in implementing a particular feature, a particular product. Then what else? So I think primarily this is majority of the things you will be getting that are frequent conversations around engineers, especially GitHub and writing PRs and all those kind of stuff. So I believe that you should pay well attention and ask any questions you have if you feel some um some need further explanation or more context. So I don't know. Do anyone have any question while he turns up his machine based on what he has um thought over time now? Do you have any concern, any question, any area you want him to like explain further?
Apologies everyone for that technical difficulty. So can everyone still see my screen? Can everyone still see my screen? All right, guys. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see? First of all, can everyone hear me? All right. So I stopped at creating a new branch because there was a main branch. That's where we're pretending like that was all the best code that Facebook already accepted. Now I am a new engineer and I have to write a new feature that my senior developers asked me to write. So instead of writing there, I created a new branch for myself based off of the first branch, which is why everything still looks the same, except the fact that there is a new written text right here. So first of all, in this point, I've cloned. Now I need to run git init because git init is a command that says start watching my code, start looking at the changes I made. You're telling Git to start looking around any new change that you make, any new file that you add, any new text that you add. Git is going to know and then Git will alert you. Now we need to initialize Git in our project because you need it to watch and monitor your project so it can know what to push to GitHub. So I'll run git init right here in my command line. And all right, so you can see we initialize. Now, because I've created the repo from GitHub, that is why Git was previously initialized. Assuming I created the folder right here in my PC and then pushed to GitHub before even cloning or anything, Git will have not been initialized. But because it's already created from GitHub and then I cloned it and brought it in, Git was initialized. So running GitHub, Git init, apologies, will just reinitialize the repository. It doesn't really do anything new. But it's for the first time you get the initialized Git repository. Now that is what Git init does. So right here, next command, which is Git branch. I already created a branch, but just for showing sake, I'll create a new branch. Now to create a new branch, the command is git branch, and let's say a new branch, let me say dev2. Now I've created a new branch dev2. I can then switch to that branch by doing git checkout dev2. dev2. Now if you look here, this is dev, but when it switches, this right here will change to dev2. This tiny, I don't know if everyone can see my cursor. I'm taking it down here. You guys could see me and see that it is going to switch to dev. So my laptop is very slow today. Apologies. It's taking quite a bit of time. It's really taking its time to create. It's usually not this serious, just because my laptop has a lot on it that I will still need to take care of after this meeting. All right, so as you can see, it switched to the new branch. It alerts us right here that it has switched to the new branch. Now, this is my cursor. If you look down here, you see that this has been changed to dev2 right here. As I've created a new branch based off of dev1. I'm sorry, based off of dev, I've created dev2, and I'm inside dev2. By checking out dev2, I am inside dev2. Now, I can as well go ahead to make my change, like, okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Now, I've written a bunch of verbose codes that I want to send to Facebook so that they can review my work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the file. Now, this file name is readme. This file's name is readme, so I'll add the file by doing git add read in the same notation, read me, the same uppercase. Like you have to be very meticulous with the cases the files are written in. So because that is how GitSuite identifies the file. So it has to be exactly the same. The way the same file name was written, that's the same way it's supposed to be written here. So git add readme.md. Now I have added the file readme.md. That's it has told Git to hold it and to monitor it. Now I want to give it an identifier name, like a unique identifier name that will, the Facebook team will be able to know what I have done. Now I'll do Git comments. On. I can do a Git comment right here. Okay, so that I can do a git commit to add a tag name to the file. Git commit and hyphen help. You have to look at this hyphen right here. It is very important that you add the hyphen when you're creating a new file. So I can then give it a tag name to be add added testing or anything I just choose to write. I can just say added testing text. Now I have written that. That's then I press enter. Now I've given it a tag name. I'm giving it a tag name. That is what when I push it out on Facebook thing will use to identify the thing I did. When they are reading through, they will see this tag name and be like, oh, okay, you added testing text, which is this right here. Now that I've done that, now I want to send the code for my senior engineers at Facebook to look at for me. They need to verify my changes. So what I'm going to do is to do a git push, then the origin where it is supposed to come from, which is dev2, the origin name, which is the branch that you are on. Origin name dev2. And when I do this and press enter, it is going to send all my changes from my desktop to the code base, which is right here. This is our Facebook clone code base right here. So it's going to send all my changes to here. Okay, so it has pushed it now. If we go here, you can see dev2 had recent pushes 1 second ago. Now it has created, this is the main branch right here that Facebook accepts all the changes. Now if I press create and compare pull request, because it is like having a report. This is just creating kind of a report for where the developer to view. So you can see here, I'm creating a pull request. Now this pull request is what the new my senior developers are going to review and check out and see whatever it is I have made. Now you can see this process here. This process means the new thing that I've added, and this minus right here or this red line means something that has been removed. Now the commits, see it right here. This is the identifier. So when the my senior developer comes to look at it, they'll see the name added testing text. They'll be like, okay. And then they come here and check and they'll be like, oh, he added a text called testing. I can just create a pull request. I can just write a description. I added the new testing text. This is just for extra visibility and description for the developer, so you don't have to take their time to start scrolling through. Now you can see I've created a pull request. So after creating this new pull request, now as you can see right here, that's been created. Now my senior developer can just come and review my code change. They can see it here. Okay, he wrote added a new testing text. They can just go here to the files that I've changed, review the files. They review the files and see, oh, it did add this few text right here. And then they can, if they want to merge it, that is to join it with the main code base. If they accept it, they can press merge pull request. But I want to first show you what the code base looks like before merging. Now, if you look right here, you can see what is here in the README is just Facebook clone, nothing else, just Facebook clone. Now, when I go to the pull request, let's pretend I'm a senior developer and I go here, add text, testing text. I can press merge and confirm merge. Now, what this is going to do is going to connect them together. Now, if we go back here and review it, you can see that the text has been added, they've been merged together into one. Now, guys, I understand that this has been an overview. So there's like quite a lot of intricacies that you still need to go through, but this is just to help you have a basic understanding of what Git and GitHub does Apologies, I was going to take questions, but I've actually used a lot of somebody else's time. I won't go on Slack or reach out before I'm going to connect you to. But thank you so much, everyone. Apologies that I have to give the floor and the next speaker. Thank you guys for having me. Please, if you have any questions, don't feel shy. There are no dumb questions. All questions are important, and I'm taking all questions. Please ask me on Slack or via WhatsApp. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Peter. So, in an overview of what the discussion about is to make sure you can buy into the lens of an engineer, can see the nuances of what it takes to write a code, taking it into your own local host, implementing the feature, sending it for reviews. After the review, they send it back to the engineer, then the engineer makes some of corrections. And each of these things are done for as many features that are possible. We didn't go further to talk about packages, talk about how to write a function, how all of these things connect, how to launch a product. I think these are, by the time you get to the internship, where you get to go into, like, if you want to test what they've done after they implement a project, how do you now test to see where all of those things come in? I think during the internship now, there will be more further discussions around how some of these things work. But this is just like an overview so that when you are applying for opportunities or you want to make plans for your capstone project and all of that, you can be able to see how complex some of these things are. So thank you so much for that quick and short um discussion, Peter. So moving on to the next part of today's discussion is on design, that's using um Figma as a product manager and how you can buy into the lens of a designer to understand the nuances of what it takes to turn a feature or an idea into some low fidelity wireframe, some high fidelity wireframe, turn it to a prototype, and then before you now share the screens with engineers to then implement it. So he will be telling us, walking us through some of the main features on Figma and how he also collaborates with an engineer to look at the dev mode and some other things that a product designer does on a day-to-day basis. So permit me to introduce um, Justin Chukwudebube, right? So he's a lead product designer at Buildersstudio, and he's been quite very versatile to all the things we do internally across different products. So permit me to welcome and hand over to Justin Ebube to take over from here. If you can hear me, please, over to you, please.
Hello, hello, good evening, everyone.
I think you joined with two gadgets, so it's
Yeah. I'm trying to disconnect this to another phone. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can.
Yeah. So my name is Chukudi Ebube. I'm was Justin, but you can call me Ebube. So I'm the lead product designer for Buildersstudio. So today we'll be talking about Figma design, Figma as a whole. So what is, sorry, I'm coming, give me a few minutes.
I think it's either you disconnect one of the sound, or you disconnect it in total.
Yeah, I'm trying to disconnect it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so welcome back. Sorry for the delay. So I don't know. Okay, what's it? So what is so once again, welcome everyone. Today we'll cover key product design jargon and dive into Figma. So Figma is a powerful tool for UI UX design. So by the end of this session, I think you will have a solid foundation in design, technology, and practical skills to start using Figma. So furthermore, what is a user experience? User experience, which everybody knows as UX. Rather, it refers to the overall experience the user has when interacting with a product or service. It's about making sure the product is easy, enjoyable, and valuable for the user. So, sorry, I think, let me share my screen and be writing this down in case anybody's writing it, or should I just go on like this?
Can you come again, please? I didn't get. What did you say?
Then, should I share my screen and be writing it down on my notepad so that if anybody didn't get me well and want to write it down, or should I just go on like this?
I think you can share your screen and write in your notepad. Since you'll be sharing Figma too, you can just share your screen once and for all now.
All right. Okay. So, like I said, what is UX? So, UX refers to overall experience the user has when interacting with a product or service. So when you pick up your phone now, let's use a fintech app for an example. You just downloaded an Access Bank app, or let me say Fidelity Bank app, which I was using before. So you pick up your phone, you downloaded the Fidelity Bank app. Then while trying to sign up or register your account, you notice that the buttons for next or continue is not where it's meant to be. All of a sudden, the button is like at the top right corner of your phone. It is not a good user experience because normally all the sign up you used to know is there will be a very big button that will show you sign up or sign in. Then all of a sudden you have a button that is somewhere else. Like, it doesn't make sense. So that is a bad user experience. So, or when you are trying to sign up for a application or website, all of a sudden, like, it is not giving you something you have experienced before. It is trying to like reintegrate or bring up another user experience. So it is a bad UX. So that is to say that UX is like a user experience, an experience a user have or has with an application or a website. I don't know if you guys can understand me or can get me. So user experience is an experience a user has with an application or a website or even a product. So the next is UI. So UI is the point of interaction between the user and a digital product. This includes buttons, screens, pages, and all visual elements. So now right on my screen, this is the UI. This is the UI. This whole screen is a UI. It's a design. I designed it. It has colors. It has buttons. It has everything. So this is a UI design. But for me to have a good UI design, I have to make a good UX experience. There should be a user experience. So without a good user experience, there won't be a good UI. I'm just designing an application or a website that at the end of the day, you're not going to make use of it. And one thing with the website is once I come to the website, the website frustrates me, or like it doesn't give me what I actually want, I would not like to come back to that website. I won't like to come back to that website because it is not giving me what I want. And why should I come back to this website when I have other options? Like now, Fidelity Bank now, I have Fidelity Bank account, I have GT Bank account. I'm trying to make a transaction, but use the Fidelity Bank account. I can't see the button. I can't see the OTP button. I can't see anything. I would like to come back to that application when I know I have other options. So why coming back to come and stress myself? So that is where UX and UI come in. UX works in hand with UI. So doing a good user experience, a good user research to come up with a good user experience, and at the end of the day, not having a good UI design, it will not say well. Having an appealing design, it will not say well to the users. So both of them works in synergy, they work hand in hand. So that takes us to wireframing. So I know everybody will hear what is wireframe, what is wireframe. So wireframe can be said to be a low fidelity blueprint of a product layout. It's used to outline the basic structure and elements without focusing on a design details. So this is a wireframe or a low fidelity design. So it can be like this. Some designers tend to hand draw theirs. They can use a pencil and a paper, draw it, kind of a sketch, just like when an architect or when a civil engineer goes to an architect for him to give him a blueprint of a building or a design. So it's just like giving you a head start of what you're about to design or what you're about to produce. So you don't just wake up and start designing. You just have to like have a wireframe, have a foundation for it, have a blueprint to be like, okay, this is what my design is going to look like at the end of the day. Then prototyping. So prototyping is an interactive preliminary version of a product used to test concepts and gather feedback. Once again, prototype is an interactive version of a product used to test concepts and gather feedbacks. It helps visualize the user flow and interactions. So I'm going to later after when we come to Figma properly, I'm going to show you the prototypes and how it actually works. But to just give you a head start, it's just like prototype is just like now seeing your designs coming to life before they are actually developed or before they are actually being brought to life by a developer. So So instead of just seeing an image like this, prototypes are going to like make them, when you click on this, it's going to move to promotions. When you click to home, it's going to move to home. When you click on marketplace, it's going to lead you to a marketplace. So that is what a prototypes is all about. Then usability. Usability measures how efficiently, effectively, and satisfactory a user can interact with a product. Good usability ensures that users can achieve their goals with minimal effort. I'm trying to know if I can be saying these things and be writing them down, but I'm not that good. So please, if there's a way you guys can be signaling me for me to go back and recap if you guys didn't get me. So once again, usability, it measures how effectively, efficiently, and satisfactory a user can interact with a product. Good usability ensures that users can achieve their goals with minimal effort. So it's just the same thing, almost the same thing with the user experience. So if, just like I said in the user experience, if I cannot be able to maximize or make use of a product at a particular time without going to go through the manuals, it's just like when you buy a drug or when you buy a television. These days, you don't need to go through manuals for you to know how to on a television. The user experience has been there. And for you to just buy on that television and all of a sudden you brought out the remote, instead of the power button to be red, the power button is down the remote where there is volume. You now be like, you now use volume button to on the television. That is a bad user experience. Like, you are trying to like, yes, we know you are trying to like be creative, like be different from every other competitor out there, but it is a bad user experience. Like, it's a very bad user experience because users are already used to this particular style. So for you to just bring out a new style of design or something else out from the box, outside the box, it wouldn't go well with the users. It wouldn't go well with the users. So user persona. So this basically is mainly for the UX and user experience. User persona. I think I have something like that. So what is a user persona? So user persona is a fictional character that represents a segment of your target audience. It is based on user research and helps guide design decisions by embodying the needs, goals, and behaviors of your users. Once again, a user persona is a fictional character that presents a segment of your target. It's based on user research and helps guide design decisions by embodying the needs, goals, and behaviors of your user. So like this is a user persona. So this is the person's name. It mustn't be the person's picture when you are doing your user research. So doing user research, like these days, is done online. You just have to generate your Google documents, share it with people, ask them their name, their age, their demography, so if it's like you are doing a research or like something about women and children, you have to ask them to choose if they are women, if they are their gender, if they're female or male. So you have to classify it or differentiate the male from the female. You know that, okay, these are the responses you got from male. You don't need them for the research because guys don't know about female. If you're doing like a research on breast cancer, this is not something that concerns men. If you are doing the research like trafficking, basically child trafficking or women trafficking, this doesn't concern adult men. These are basically for children and for women. So this user research is from there, going to like get your information, get the age of the person, education status, occupation, location. Then they are going to like state their frustrations, their pain points. Like now, I'm going to say that when I opened Fidelity Bank app, instead of me to share or to send money or transfer money to someone, I'm being asked to like generate my OTP or to go to bank and get my OTP. These are like 2020, 2019 banking experience. It doesn't work again. So for a bank app to start asking you for you to go to your bank to get your OTP, for you to be able to transfer funds to someone, like it doesn't work these days. Most banks don't do it. So it's a bad user experience. So it is going to be like a frustration or a pain point. So this is a user persona that is going to use to generate all those particulars or information from your user. So once again, it's a journey mapping. I'm sorry, this is scattered. I didn't really have time to like document them in the same in a particular place. So after these classes, I think later it should be shared with you guys, please. But you guys should bear with us. So journey map. So journey map is like, it involves organizing structured content in a way that makes it easy for users to find information and navigate the product. Journey mapping. Journey mapping, it visualizes a user's interaction with products across different stages. It helps identify pain points and opportunities for improvement. So just like what I just showed you there, user persona, it contains both user persona and the journey mapping. Where is it? Both the user persona and the journey mapping, where the user states their frustration. Here say that price is high related to the quality they provide. Currently finds perfect people from past work relations, family, friends, and within my circle, and online, which is tedious. Not much choice and comparison not available. So here you can, from this user research that you send out from them, you get their user persona, their biographies, their informations, their pain points, their frustrations, and what they expect to see in a new app or in a new website or in a new product. So now let's head to Figma. So what is Figma? I think I have to. So what is Figma? Figma can be said, Figma is a cloud-based design tool for creating UI UX designs, prototypes, and collaborating with teams in real time. Its key feature includes design, prototyping, and collaboration capabilities. Once again, Figma is a cloud-based design tool for creating UI UX designs, prototypes, and collaborating with team members in real time. So Figma is not just for doing UI UX designs. Figma, you can do your graphic designs on Figma. You can do your motion design. You can do your illustrations on Figma. Figma encompasses lots of things. Mainly anything design can be done in Figma. You can even design your what's it called? Your portfolio here on Figma. You can even present your work, like the new Figma update that happened now. You can present your slides now on Figma. So Figma is anything design has to do with Figma. So, but Figma is not the only tool for your UI UX design. There are people that use Adobe tools for designs, but mainly these days Figma is I think is the number one tool when it comes to UI UX design. So even when you are looking for jobs, or most jobs out there, you must require, not they must, they requires that most designers have a knowledge of Figma to read. So yeah, this is the Figma tool. It is both a website and an application. So you can come to Google Chrome or to your browser, type on Figma. It is going to give you this, or you can download the Figma app as well. Both of them, they do the same thing, both the Figma app and the website. Just like it's a cloud-based design tool. So this is the Figma tool. So here, so this is just, once you open your Figma, this is the first thing you will see. This is the first thing you will see here. So, sorry, can you guys still hear me? Sorry, I've not asked that question since. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, this is a Figma canvas. So here we have the frame tool, we have the rectangle, we have the pen tool, we have the text, we have the resources, we have the hand tool, and we have the comment. So this is it. Click on this, drag it. Sorry, let me make this. So this is the frame. So just like they will say, Figma is just all about. In fact, yeah, UI UX is all about dragging frames. It's all about dragging frames. Like everything is practically frame. Everything is in a frame. Like everything is in a box. So that is basically UI UX. So sorry, I think let me drag this. Okay, yeah. So so this is a frame. This is the rectangle. So if you click on this down part, you see sections, you see slides. But basically, this does not concern, like you have no concern with this section and these slides at all. So basically what you make use of is frame. Then rectangle. Rectangle, there are other shapes as well. There is line. There is eclipse. There is also polygon. There is star. So this is just like if you want to place your image, I can place my image inside the star. So this is sorry. So this is it basically. So over here, this is called the sidebar. It's called the sidebar, or you can also Sorry, can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay. So this is practically most of the things you need to know about Figma. It really goes into depth. It's not really what we'll explain today, but I'll try as much as possible to cover much. So this is the hand tool, like you can use it to drag your Canva, drag it. Then this is the comment. Like if I'm working on a team, like now our team in Buildersstudio, me and my team, when we're working together, and I've designed a frame, or I designed something on the Canva, and maybe some of my team members are not around, I can just drop a comment for them here. I can tag them when they come online, or even before they come online. Once I tag them, because once as a team, you are assigned to the Figma file with your Gmail account. So once I tag you here, you're going to get a notification on your email that you have been tagged to a comment on the Figma file. So if you can be able to respond to it. So that's one good thing about Figma. It allows team members for them to work together. And also one nice thing about Figma is that there's an in-call feature in Figma. So when we are in the team working together, we can still be discussing while in the Figma community, instead of like most design tools that they have out there. Most of them you be on call on WhatsApp or on Slack or Zoom or Google Meet. You be on call, then still be designing as well, or you just organize a meeting outside the Figma and just share ideas and still come about. But Figma has this tool that when your team members are on the Figma file, you can be discussing with them, exchanging ideas, making corrections with them as well. So, sorry. So this is a text. Yeah, I didn't mention about this text. Sorry, let me. So this text, just like normal text, hello, welcome, Figma. So, sorry. So once you type this, initially before now, like there is nothing on the right side of this Figma file. On this right hand side is called a properties panel. There's nothing. This basically just your tools, your local styles, so nothing is. But once I bring this in, this is going to come out. So without this text, I will not have. So this is basically the properties for this text. This property here handles this text here. So when I click on this text, I come here, click on this enter. I can change the font. I can choose Irish Grover. If I don't want this font, I can choose the Jaldi. If I don't want this, I can choose another font here as well. Then I can adjust the sizes. I can choose it to be medium. I can choose semi-bold. I can choose extra light, and I can still change this the letter size. I can say it should be 70. I can say it should be 12. I can say it should be 60. I can say it should be 20. All depends on the design I want to do with it. Then here is the stroke. So it has made, but basically the stroke works more for this. Sorry, let me put this in auto layout. The stroke. Then we have this is for the colors. If I want to change the colors of, like I want to change the colors of the text. This here, let me change it to white. Oh, sorry, let me do it like this. So I can change the color of the text from here. Then I can change it. I can even change the side. I can change the opacity of the color. If I want it to be 40, if I want it to be 20, if I want it to be 100. Of course, you know that 100 is the highest percentage. So 100 is the highest. So here you change the opacity of the color you have. Then the effects. We have effect, we have drop shadow, we have layer blur, we have background blur, we have inner shadow. So this here basically is like if I'm done with my design and I want to export it. Sorry, like this design now, I can export it as a PNG, as JPG, as SVG, or as PDF. So let me export it as PNG. So I've already downloaded it to my phone. So in case I want to share it, I want to share it with someone, I want to post it on my Twitter, I want to post it on anywhere, I want to share it to someone on WhatsApp. It's also possible on Figma. So like Figma is a very nice tool. I know people that design their Instagram, I think their Instagram covers here. Some people design something that can design your portfolio, can do pretty many things. So here, this sidebar here, it's called the layers panel. So here is like now this iPhone 13 mini. This is it. iPhone 13 mini, this is it. If I change the name from iPhone 13 mini to brand, it has also affected this one here. Please, can you guys see my cursor? So, sorry, let me check the chat. Okay. So if I change it to UI UX design, change to UI UX design, it is going to affect this one too. So this layers panel all has to do with everything here. Everything here. This is the star. This is it here. This is the polygon. This is it here. This is the eclipse. This is it here. This is the arrow. This is it here. This is the rectangle. This is it here. So that is basically about Figma. Then I don't know if you should design something for, because saying all these things without designing something, I don't think it's going to make sense at all. So I think, okay, let's try and design something. Let me try and create this design here. So this design here has many things actually inside. Just that I had to clip the content. I have to clip the content. So this is basically everything in this design. So here is prototyping. Yeah, sorry. So here I can like me now when I'm designing and I think I'm not really like understanding what I'm doing or what I'm doing doesn't make sense. I just have to come here and play it. So when I play it, it's going to show me how the design looks like in an actual sense. So this is how it looks like in an actual sense. So I'll be like, okay, this is making sense. This is making sense. Okay, yeah. So this is the prototyping aspect. I think, okay, let us prototype something. Like I said before, we are going to get to the prototyping part. So let us prototype. Okay, so now this basically, this doesn't move. This is just static. It doesn't move. So it doesn't really show me what I want to see. So let's say I come to this prototype. I come here. It is on no scrolling. So it means that nothing is going to scroll. So sorry. Physical. Okay, yeah. So that sorry, let me come again. I'm just trying to make sure everything is correct. So yeah, so 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 this is basically the prototyping. So let me bring in something else here. So it will make more sense. So there are lots to talk about Figma. Just that this 1 hour time would not be enough for us. There are still things like components. Components is just like creating something for something reusable. Like now, this arrow is something that you have to use it over and over again in the design. So it has to be in a component. It has to be in a component because it has to be called up over and over again. So here is just like everything I have that is in my component. Everything here is like this is a component. Sorry, where is it? These are components. These are components. So with this component, I had to, sorry. So most times in prototyping, you have to put things in components for them to work properly. So this is a very long process of prototyping. Let me look for my laptop is hanging. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay, sorry. Okay. So this interaction here, I achieved it through prototyping. So it was achieved through prototyping. So like if you look at this file, all these wires here that look like cobweb, all of them are prototypes. So I have to drag something to lead me to something, to lead me to something. These are all prototypes. So let me look for something simple to prototype that will not waste our time. Look for something. Okay. How many minutes do I have left? Wow, that was far gone now. Sorry, I'm trying to. Let me just go with this. Sorry, my system is hanging. I have lots of files open on the system, so yeah. So can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? If you can see my, just drop a message on the chat box. I can't see any message on the chat. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is an app for influencing. It's called Ego Influence app. So so this is like the sign up part of the application. So this is practically, so this has not been prototyped. So what I want to achieve here is I want to achieve a situation whereby when I click on this fashion here, when I click on this fashion, it is going to be checked just like this one here. When I click on this lifestyle, it is going to be checked. When I click on this, it is going to be checked. So here, if I click on it here, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is happening. If I click on this lifestyle, nothing is happening. When I click on this movie and music, nothing is happening. Okay, now let's prototype it. Yeah, sorry. So, sorry, let me go again. So when you click on this, it is going to lead you to this one. So you have to connect them together. It is going to bring out this, going to ask you, do you want the interaction to happen when you tap on it, or when you drag it, or when you hover on it, or while pressing it, or when you click on the keypad, or when the mouse enters, or when the mouse leaves. So I choose it to happen when I tap on it. Then they ask you, do you want it to happen on instant, or do you want it to dissolve, or do you want it to move in, or move out, or push, or smart animate? So smart animate is like the next big thing that happened to Figma. Like it is very useful, like it's very mad. So, but I want it to happen on instant. Okay, so now let's see what's going to happen. So when I click on this, okay, sorry, on lifestyle, it has already checked. So if I want to do it like when I click it back, it is going to uncheck. Same thing with tap. Then, okay, let me click on it. It has unchecked. I click on it again, it has checked. So this happened as a result of prototyping. Okay, now this welcome, this one now leads to something else. So I've already connected it already. I've already prototyped it. Okay, let me now say, let me click on the continue. It's going to lead you to dive in and start exploring your journey. Your journey begins now. So this happened as a result of a prototype. So without prototyping, something like this is not going to happen because it is not leading you to anywhere. So when you are going to like present it to like a shareholder or like to the CEO or to somebody that, if you're like a freelancer, to someone that's hired you, you're going to like show them, because design is not where, as a designer, after design, you're going to like take it to the developer. So it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. So let me show this as well. So this is it. This is the prototype. This is it. So all this happened, all this was achieved because of the prototyping. Click on this, it's going to take you to the next, it's going to take you to the next, it's going to take you to the next, it's going to take you to the next. Then all this happened as a result of prototype. So I don't have much time, would have delved in more into this. So I wish there would be more time for us to go through this or go deeper into this. So then another thing altogether, Mr. Damola said something about the dev mode. So this is it. Just click on this. Click on this. It has already switched to the dev mode. So you switch to the dev mode. So you can look at it here. So as a developer, this has actually showed you what this design is all about. This here. So this is it. Shows you the icons, the code, display flex, width 375. So that's basically, that's why they say that there are lots of designers out there. There are designers that just design. There are designers that design according to design principle. So look at this design here. Sorry. Look at this design here. So this design wasn't done properly. It wasn't done properly. Actually, I was not the one that designed it. Someone that worked before me designed it. So this red line, this is ruler. Person brought in ruler for the design. Like, this is not a good design. Like, if you're a good designer, just enter, you like, no, nah, something is wrong. So there's a difference between being a designer and being a good designer. It's a two different thing. So I'm not like castigating this work. He did well, like he went into details here, but the process of design is very bad. So for a developer to just come here, like a developer has, like, it will be confusing because you have to put in more work for you to. But when a design is being designed well, like, it is going to be a less stress for a developer for him to understand what he's doing. But this one, everything is just, then that comes in auto layout. Auto layout is like a deeper part of design, which time will not allow us to go deeper into it. So I think I have just 5 more minutes. I think these 5 minutes, it should be for questions and for clarification. If there is anything you want that you'll be hearing about Figma, that maybe I did not touch it, or I said it, or I didn't say it well to your understanding, please, I think it is the time. Just feel free, ask your questions, then let's tackle them before the 5 minutes is up. Thank you. Please, I wish you can unmute yourself and talk. Don't just drop your questions on the chat box. Just unmute yourself and ask your questions, please. Please, I need questions. Please, I just need questions. A question, 2 questions. Somebody should ask something, please. Anybody? So I guess there is no question. Mr. Damola, sorry, is that something else you want me to touch before the 5 minutes is up?
None for now. I think you've done a very good job to cover most of the areas that I want them to get to be in the know. So you can see that majority of the tools you get to use as a product manager is similar thing that product designers, similar thing to what engineers also use. So the goal is not to make sure that you then start designing products yourself. It's to make sure that you can understand the processes a product designer undergo while trying to build a product from scratch, or while trying to develop a new feature and introduce and improve on a particular product. So at this moment, do anyone has any question or anything you want us to want the instructor want everybody to go over again? I guess none. So next class I'll talk about how there's now a balance between the skills of a product manager, an engineer, and what's it called? A product designer. Yeah, and how you can best to make sure you can manage teams and all of that. So if there are questions, please unmute yourself and ask or put them in the chat box. Arinze, Darasimi, Joy. Do you have any questions? I guess none. All right, so we've come to the end of today's class. So next discussion will be, yeah, it's a whole lot. That's why I don't want to be the one to take them. I want it to come from somewhere, so you can see that there's a lot to building a product. So, because if I take them, you'll be like, yes, something products, building a product, there's a whole lot to it. There's a whole lot. So I'm happy we can buy into their own lens and see how these things work. So if especially for the capstone project, you can see. Let me just put that. Yeah. So from next class, I'll just finish the module and also take questions and all those kind of stuff for this particular class. So in case the the videos and you have questions, feel free to always send in your questions, and I'll find a way to send it um to the instructor and all of that. So let's have a productive a restful night, a productive Friday, and a great weekend ahead. If you need anything, always reach out, or you need any clarification, reach out to myself or Favor on Slack or WhatsApp. So thank you so much, guys, and bye for now. Ebube, thank you so much for your